Witch, Yahoo, Phantom of the Forest, you Spearfinger, Fire Dragon, Ohio Grassman, Silver Giant, Bloodless Howler, West Virginia Vampire, Coyote King, Hogzilla, Devil Dog, Coyote Killer. Cave creature, Mothman, Smoke Wolf, Lizard Demon, Ashman, Grafton Monster, Cow-killing Bastard, Shadow Creature, Dustman, Cherokee, Death Cat, Wild Man, Great Fire Rape. What else do I have to say? Steal yourself some chicken wire, and I'll get some lumber. Catch the Thunder Brothers. Don't you dare get out of the golf cart. We can keep our big seats while we hunt the big feet. Snallygaster, Road Team, Red Island Bear Beast, Silver Giant, Squalling Savage, Black Wolf was kind of average, Stone Giant, Raven Mocker, Midnight Whistler, Wampus Beast, Wawa Woman, Ohio Grassman again. Technically Huckleberry, Wolfman or Wolf County, need to find the axe again if we hunt the Lightning Man. Welch's Werewolf, Daily Howl, Kentucky Hellhound, Little Girl, Headless Horror, I can't take it anymore. Steal yourself some chicken wire, and I'll get some lumber. Catch the Thunder Brothers. Don't you dare get out of the golf cart. We can keep our big seats while we hunt the big feet.
This year's Big Feets, the only Mountain Monsters watch-along podcast. I'm Robert Brockway, and I'm thinking about straightening my hair and maybe tying up my beard a little to look like Jason Momoa. What do you guys think? You think that'll look good?
I think it's great. Great idea. Oh, is it my turn for intro? I'm Sean, baby. I first saw Yvonne standing across the room at the Red Onion, a Woodland Hills nightclub. She was in the process of discouraging a potential suitor. After my failed marriage, I was too gun-shy to instigate any contact myself. But when a stuntman and fellow martial artist named Rick Kahana introduced us, I found out she was not just another customer or someone out for a good time. She was the club's female bouncer. I must have made a good impression, for we became inseparable almost immediately, and within a month had moved in together. All went well until Yvonne's eyes became infected, and UCLA's Jules Stein Clinic diagnosed she was in danger of permanently losing her sight. Her passion lay in horses, and I bought her a saddlebred named Power Pack, and an Arabian colt named Sakorkokoro, Arabic for Desert Wind. Although some of my more callous friends questioned whether I wanted to spend the rest of my life taking care of a blind woman, I truly loved Yvonne and was willing to do anything for her. Anything, that is, except to tell her my true occupation.
And I am New York Times bestselling author Jason Pargin.
I was wondering where that was going. Like, is he just telling us about the time he was in love? Because that's kind of sweet. Nope. It's the time I couldn't tell her she was blind, but I still couldn't tell her I was a spy. Doing his spy work in silence around the house, just like tiptoeing.
Those of you new to the show, Sean, for his intro, reads from a book by a man named Frank Dukes, D-U-X, called The Secret Man. And I feel like we would have sold a lot of copies of that book, but it's not in print. I think the cheapest one I saw on Amazon was $200. And I keep waiting for Sean to run out of spectacular excerpts from this book because I think, well, the whole thing can't be amazing, but he's been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's more to come. I don't plan ahead. Before the show, I just flip through until I find a funny one. I think what'll probably happen is I'll probably read one I've already read, like that time when he killed the guy with the credit card or something.
How would we even know? There's no way we would ever know that.
But I just want to let everyone know, her eyes were infected. He didn't say with what, but next paragraph, they're fine. She did not go blind. He didn't have to worry about it.
She just got pink eye, and he was like, "My life as a spy is over. Have to get North Korea will be destroyed."
I mean, my life as a traveling salesman. Jesus Christ, that was a close one. God, she was almost blind.
Oh, the Duke's cast. We got to do it. We got to do it someday.
Oh, we'll do it.
Apparently, that's not today. We are a Mountain Monsters watch-along podcast, as I've said. We're not 100% sure what that show is. Before we get into it, let's do some plugs. Jason.
It's the same book that I've been promoting the entire time I've been on here. Yes, people do buy it. If you have read the book, I'm starting to worry about this black box of doom. In the replies on social media or in the comments of YouTube, quote your favorite part.
I thought there was going to be a second part to that.
No, it's just that. Quote your favorite part and tell other people to buy it, but your quotes will sell it. Just like Sean's book that he reads, that is actually not for sale, but still.
Like
I'll let mine go for $8,000.
A free black box. A free black box with every quote.
If you buy me Don Diebel's grave, I will send you my copy of The Secret Man by Frank Dukes.
That's starting to be a bargain, man. A few more months, that's going to be a deal. Because we're driving the value of that book way up, and its natural life progression is driving the cost of that grave way down. So far down.
I'll plug 1-900hotdog.com. Go to patreon.com/1-900hotdog for laughs.
Mountain monsters. We're talking about mountain monsters.
Huckleberry's Predator.
It is about a little more than halfway through the Dark Forest arc, is what they're calling it. The whole season is an exercise in single continuity, and that's incredible. If you know anything, if you've listened to any episode of this podcast, you'll know that's an unachievable feat that they're trying.
Nothing has ever been more beyond someone's means.
It's amazing that they're trying this. We're watching Mountain Monsters Season 3, Episode 5. It's called Huckleberry's Predator. I'm going to assume just based on title, this was a continuation of the story. That time Huckleberry was molested by a Bigfoot. He didn't get any closure in that episode. His abuser got away totally free. He just ran off into the forest to abuse again. Like, they need to do a Mystic River where Huckleberry comes back and gets, like, closure on this trauma.
I'd be okay if they didn't revisit it. Like, of all the ideas they could revisit, I would say it goes Hogzilla, pterodactyl fight. I would love to see another pterodactyl fight. Pocket Ham, I'm always up to see Pocket Ham. And then 5,000 other things. And then Huckleberry's Bigfoot molestation.
See, I'm in it for the characters. I need to see Huckleberry get that closure, that emotional loop.
Okay.
Sewn shut. Otherwise,
because remember, the Bigfoot that assaulted him lived in his yard.
Yeah, he's still living in his yard.
He didn't travel across the world to encounter it. It lived. There was a part of his land he couldn't go onto because his abuser lived there.
It's like that old-timey tradition where they had like a garden hermit living on the palatial estates in like Victorian times, only it's a Bigfoot that molests you. That's a terrible life.
I had Bigfoot for a stepdad, but I didn't have to go through what he went through. But so I can relate to just this like asshole Bigfoot on your property all the time.
So a quick recap: the Ames team was sent into a place called the Dark Forest by a skeleton-masked puzzle master. He gave them 2 coordinates to visit. They did not go to them.
Fucked it up.
They'll surely come up and be important somehow to the story. I have faith. And he asked them to capture the woman of the woods, who could be a ghost, she could be a witch, she could be a shape-shifting Bigfoot, probably none of the above. Jeff started getting real cranky in a way that could only be witch possession or skipped snack time. The rest of the team followed him secretly and found him meeting with Trapper in what can only be a conspiracy barn, not a blowjob barn. It's just a barn of treachery. It's not for forbidden love.
If you've seen The Shining, this is just a Shining room. They open this door and they're doing The Shining.
They do the that's the exact positioning that they're in, and the look of like, what? Mm-hmm. Maybe the barn is one of the coordinates? No, I'm not going to be that generous.
And then we cut to black. And now here's the thing. 2 episodes ago, I tried very hard to explain the plot contrivances that brought us here, because I felt like now that there's continuity, we have to explain what's going on, because this is new. Where, you've got now an 8 episode long arc they're going to wind up doing, where each episode doesn't make sense unless you know how they got there. The big thing for this episode, remember, they are here to capture the woman of the woods to trade her for the corpse of the Stonish giant. Because this Bigfoot hunting group Sequad told them, we know where the rogue team is keeping the Stonish Giant. If you give us the Woman of the Woods, we will send you. That's it. So in this episode, don't get sidetracked by all the other stuff. Listen for them to mention the words rogue team, Stonish Giant. That's the main plot stuff. If they're not talking about those things, it's irrelevant and you can ignore it. Just keep your eyes on the prize. Capturing the Woman of the Woods to get the Stonish Giant.
So they come back from Black, and Huckleberry sums it all up, and he says, "We gotta get in this barn. We gotta do some talking." That's hyping up a barn conversation. He's a hype man for the barn conversation, is what he's doing. Jeff reveals that 2 days ago, Trapper met him and told him to stop being so pussy whipped by the Woman of the Woods. Like, that's what. They're doing it like an inspirational moment, but Trapper said, "Man up. You got to man up and get control of yourself." And
Quit
Jeff
letting this Woman of the Woods mess with your mind, is how he described Jeff's possession by the eternal witch, the immortal witch that lives in these woods.
Yep, that's how Trapper describes his wife too. So to him, it's the same thing.
So what Jeff did is he went out and he set off a tripwire in the woods, and then he demanded to meet what might be the fourth rogue team.
Okay.
Definitely.
I feel like people are going to get mad at me, but
Probably me.
he says he met with these guys that they found, the people who've been setting out these tripwires with these sensors that have been harassing them. They travel around in golf carts, and he says they are locals working for a farmer, and that for some reason they're monitoring this dark forest very closely. So it cannot be the Squatch Body guys, because that's who sent them there.
Right.
It's not the poachers. It's also not the original rogue team, aka the first rival Bigfoot hunting team, because at no point in these last 3 episodes have they ever referred to them as the rogue team or refer to the Stonish Giant or anything. Because again, why would the Squatch Body guys send them here in exchange for information on the rogue team if the rogue team is just here? They would have said. So it is a fourth totally unrelated rival Bigfoot hunting team that drives around in golf carts and is obsessed with the Ames crew.
So,
all of them unnamed except for the rogue team.
There's a farmer mastermind, which I think is a very funny choice. Like, if I think of all the intimidating, mysterious jobs the evil mastermind could have, farmer's pretty insane. But they have the way I took it is they've hired these mercenaries to keep the mind control Bigfoot witch out of their beans. I guess like that's what a farmer would need the mercenaries for. Is that their crops are getting fucked up by the witch. It's just so much crazier than if Jeff had said, "They're wizards from the year 3000. I peed for them and earned their respect." It buries the needle on insane, stupid decisions.
They keep inventing a new rogue team every time because they forgot that they're fighting the rogue team. They're like, it would be really cool if we fought like some sort of rogue team. And they're all like, yeah, let's do it. You've already done it 3 times.
And not to belabor the point, but listeners, you know how sometimes you'll get frustrated with a show that is that mystery box style of storytelling, like Lost or something, because a few seasons in you realize that the writers who set up the mystery didn't know what the solution was, and it's not even the same writers who came up with the answer. What you're watching is a bunch of guys trying to do mystery box storytelling where they don't even know what they're going to film that day. They just go out in the woods and they're trying to improvise a mystery box without even the stuff that those other shows do.
It is a toddler running down an infinite staircase. And I want to be clear that the intel that Jeff got is nothing. He asked the leader 2 questions. He asked how big the dark forest was and what's in it. And number 1, who fucking cares? Check any map. And number 2, they already know. They've told us 500 times it's a Bigfoot, it's a witch, it's a dark wolf. We know it's a Bigfoot because of the branches that are up high and they get broken. Clear Bigfoot sign. And we know it's a wolf because remember, they found the claw marks on the tree with like the haunches in the ground and everything. And we know it's a witch because they fucking filmed her breathing fire on Jeff. Like, for fuck's sake. The witch drives them around while they're
but how
asleep. We know
big
who's in the
was it?
woods.
But now they know
Yes,
how big it is.
They measured the wolf. They know it's a big. They're hunting a regular wolf. It is not some sort of Apache Valkyrie. It's just a wolf. And it's in the woods with a shape-changing Bigfoot and a witch, who may or may not be the same thing, but we're pretty sure are different things.
So next, they're going to try to get into...
No need for them to cover
was-
up. That's all I'm saying.
Why was Jeff acting like a bitch in the last episode? And the
Right.
answer is, Jeff says, it's because I knew we were being watched. And so me and Trapper, we set this up where I would pretend to act like a bitch and get mad at you guys so that when I went and joined their crew, they would buy it. They would buy that I had rebelled against you guys and I had defected. So then you're going to say, okay, so he's not possessed by the woman of the woods. Like, that's not what was making him act like that. They're going to get real confused over the course of this season as to was he acting like that because he was possessed, or because he was cranky, or because he was pretending for the fourth rival Bigfoot hunting team, who I hope they come up with a name for them at some point. So far, they just keep referencing them as those guys.
As those other guys. I just like his plan. I like his plan, which was to go out and he says he set off a tripwire, and then he sat down and waited for them. And like, what if they didn't need the services of a pee-pee boy? Like, what if they had that role filled already? What if they have like a real good little nasty guy who pisses himself all the time?
He's like, I'll tell you the name of the guy they named this county after if you take me in.
We've got that guy too. Everybody has one. You need one of those guys just to come out here. We're not fools. Like, these just imagine if they didn't want him, these guys would have showed up to find him just sitting there like Christmas dinner. They would have just been like, "This one's a freebie, boys. Let's have some fun with it." But luckily, they needed a Jeff. This team doesn't need a Jeff. Nobody, like, his whole plan was like, they're gonna have a use for me. I'm gonna be so useful they won't kill me. And imagine being Jeff and saying that. It's incredible, the audacity.
But Trapper says this resulted in getting more information in 2 days than we would have gotten in 6 months otherwise.
You wouldn't have found out how big those woods are.
You would never. So if you multiply 0 times 6 months.
Because I don't think I'm exaggerating in any way when I say they did not discover a single thing. At least that's not revealed in this episode. There is no new information that they are given.
No.
Like, when Jeff said, hey, we need to know how big the forest is, he's not like, and I learned that. He's just like, yeah, we need to know what's in these woods. So,
which, again, you've laid it all out. They do establish what is in these woods, so I'm not sure what we're doing here. Well, surely something else will come from this episode. We'll see. We'll find out. We're watching it live along with you guys. We're just as hopeful
live
as
stream
you
here
are.
on Twitch. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
So Buck is pretending to be super betrayed by Jeff's deception, and he leans forward and he goes, "Oof, could you pull that knife out of my back? Because that's what this feels like." Like,
Huckleberry's response was really weird to this too. Like, obviously this is beyond Buck's acting capabilities, but then Huckleberry says, "I might just push it through." I don't know what that means. I don't think it's based on a saying.
It's like,
I don't think it's how you treat a knife wound.
Buck's doing a fun skit. He's doing a ring.
Yeah.
What's that? It's betrayal, Jeff. It's for you. And Huckleberry's like, "I'll fucking stab you. I'll stab you right through." Like, that was not the bit, buddy. That was not the bit.
Weird. So weird.
So the rest of the team throw a little fit and they storm out, except for faithful old Willie. And I think this might be foreshadowing. Like, we've talked about this before. But they just announced that there's going to be another season of Mountain Monsters. Maybe it's going to be called something else, but Buck, Huckleberry, and Wild Bill will be continuing their own show. And maybe Willie and Jeff will be continuing a rival show because they had a behind-the-scenes falling out. And I'm starting to hope, maybe it's all kayfabe. Maybe it all starts here, years before masterfully played foreshadowing that's going to pay off years down the line. And like, we've been laughing this whole time, and really they've just been laying groundwork that we haven't seen.
Trapper faked his death for that storyline. He's gonna reemerge
as evil Trapper with the goatee over the beard.
But it's great because it's not clear to me why, from a plot reality show standpoint, why the team has to split here. Because the way they do it, Buck flies into a rage, so Huckleberry is so angry he kicks the door open, and Buck storms out, and Wild Bill follows them. And you think, okay, everybody but Trapper and Jeff, who hatched the plan, everybody has abandoned these two because they went off on their own. But then you see Trapper say, well, I'll talk to him. We'll meet again tomorrow. You good with that, Willie? It's like, Willie is still there. Why didn't Willie leave with his friend Wild Bill? Why? They're the trap team.
I think Willie liked the plan. He's like, oh, that's a cool plan. We got an inside man now. Buck and Huckleberry felt betrayed, and they're just going off the raw emotion. And I think Wild Bill just sort of flutters towards whoever has the most energy. So he's like, "Oh, these guys are real. Like they're kicking down doors. It's nothing." So I think that's how they split like this.
I think Willie just wants a gold star. I think he knows if he sticks around, Trapper's going to give him a gold star, and he needs approval. He's a little teacher's pet. So the next day they meet up again, all tense, and only Willie can defuse it by saying, think we need to get in that barn, boys, and have another discussion. It's twice now we've hyped up barn discussions.
You take it like he's trying to like cool things down emotionally. I took it as if like the barn has some sort of counter surveillance capabilities.
Oh, I did not get. I thought it was like the talking stick. Like it's a way of just we can only fight in the fighting barn. Otherwise, and then out here we have to we're all on the same team. So,
but they are being very secretive because they don't want the rogue team to know that they're meeting with Jeff, at least before they broadcast it on their television show. I think a lot of the plot falls apart when you remember they're filming this to show to people.
I think it falls apart before then. I'll give them credit.
Of course. But like foundationally, it is shredded by the fact that there's a camera there.
Yeah, always. So the team is upset that they think Jeff can't handle the dark forest because, like, Trapper, you haven't seen how Jeff has been acting. It's not him. And it's been acting, but it was acting, remember? You're mad. You guys are mad that he was acting. That's the thing remember you're mad about that. But they're, like Jason said, they're so confused on whether or not that means he's still possessed. And, like, it's not that they don't get the improv. Jeff himself does not get the improv. He thinks he's also possessed, but also faking being possessed. And
but also emotionally traumatized.
As they're having this conversation, a voice from off camera says, "Yeah, oh yeah, it's crazy, huh?" And the camera zooms around looking for the voice to find Jeff standing in the rafters like Batman. And he goes, "I'm not crazy." And he does a full front flip, lands right in front of them, breaks both of his legs, just starts howling. No, just fucking, it's the hardest I've laughed. I would like to do the noise that I made when I first saw that. I went,
Listeners and viewers, it's 7 minutes and 45 seconds into this episode, the episode called Huckleberry's Predator. Go watch it. If you've got HBO Max, it's free. Go watch it.
It's so funny.
It is amazing because they're all having their I can't even describe it because they're all having their conversation and they're trying to improvise the line that's Jeff's cue. So it's like, you don't know, he's kind of possessed and he shouldn't have been pretending to be crazy, but also he is crazy. And Wild Bill's like, "Yeah, crazy. It's crazy." And then you just hear, "Crazy, huh?" And then the camera whips up. He's standing up there with his hands on his hips.
Yes, he's full Batman.
Like just looking down upon them from this hayloft, like 10 feet up in the air. And I guess it's implied that he was up there this whole time, like
just waiting for someone to talk shit.
Waiting for his cue. It's such a funny shot. And Huckleberry's reaction, he says, "I don't talk to a man that's higher than me." What, buddy?
I don't.
See, it's that leftover Bigfoot trauma. It's just,
Yep.
He will not talk to a shacker greater. He won't even acknowledge him.
He's trying to get, he's like, you need to come down here and face me eye to eye. And it's like, I guess they're trying to progress to the next, like they don't want to have the full conversation with him still up there because they realize that would be ludicrous. So then they just cut to him being downstairs because they didn't want to have the 17 minutes of him laboriously trying to go down the ladder or whatever.
Just
17 is
hit
generous.
every rung, every single rung, piss flailing out.
Can you imagine if they kept the cameras rolling and Jeff said, "You wait there, I'll be right down," and then we watched him climb down a barn ladder? Oh my god!
That fucking. I'll never
Once he's
forget that
down,
shot.
he's going to immediately act the way he was acting the previous day when he was pretending, because they were being watched by the mysterious, we'll call them Rogue Team 4. That they were being watched by Rogue Team 4, but he immediately just resumes that act, and no one in the room's like, well, now, are you acting now? Is this bugged? Like, are they listening? Because you're being exactly as much of a bitch as you were when you were bitching it up for those guys so that you could sell them on the betrayal. Like, they totally, and again, if this was the type of show where they were capable of turning off the camera and then having a meeting to say, okay, well, now, is he possessed? Is he upset about having been rejected? Is he still pretending to sell himself to Rogue Team 4? Like, what's the scene here? And but no, he himself does not remember that thing they said last time.
This is kind of an impossible improv situation because they did a pointless betrayal that led to nothing. And the betrayed people are like, hey, this sucks. You betrayed us. Why didn't you let us in on the plan? And then the stated position of the first party is, fuck you. We could do whatever we want. And the other guy's like, right, that's what we're saying. That sucks for us. We do not like being betrayed. And the other guys say, fuck you. We betrayed you. And they're like, yes, that's what we're saying. And then they just keep doing that back and forth. I don't know. It didn't seem super genuine, I guess, is my point. Or didn't have much of a point, also, is my point.
I can sum this all up in a single interaction. Jeff is giving them the speech of like, me and Trapper made a decision that was above your pay grade. Like, we went over your heads and made this decision for the good of the team. And Buck says, but why were we lied to? And Jeff goes, on which part?
Yes. How dare you call me a liar?
And Buck has to return back with all of it, everything.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Oh, right, I'm the liar. I forgot.
Right. Oh, it's so funny.
It's the whole conversation. You can't do the Batman stance and then do the well, look who the cat dragged in, and then go like, I'm sorry, what were we saying?
Wait, what were we talking about?
I wasn't really listening.
Huckleberry gets all serious with Jeff because he did like physically attack them. They like wrestled in the woods to make the secret undercover mission more believable.
Well, he says, he goes up for a handshake and Huckleberry says, no man talks down to me. Like
he's still mad about the Raptors.
He's still mad about him being above
He has
him.
misunderstood that saying his whole life. He thinks it means someone physically angling their speech down at you is the most insulting thing a person can do.
If you go to a basketball game with Huckleberry and you get there first and you say, Huckleberry, we're up here in these seats, he just turns right the fuck around.
And if he turns around into the basketball team, it's over. It's over.
It's over. He's a 7-footer. They just got a hillbilly shack. They're going straight to the championship. There's no rule that Huckleberry can't play basketball.
Surely sometimes men are going to be physically above you, but he's so mad about that. Trapper then reverses course and demands Jeff give the team answers. This is not the side you were on. You were on the side of like, we don't owe you answers. I believe you literally said that just a few minutes ago. And now he's like, Jeff, you better give these men some answers. Just such a goddamn wreck. And Jeff says, broken. I need tonight. Give me tonight alone with two strange men. And if I don't come back, would consider me happy. No, he says, if I don't come back with the information that you think I can bring you, I'll leave the team. What does that mean? With the information you think I can bring you? Like, they don't have expectations they don't even know what's happening. They just learned that you were not on their side, like just now.
Information I think Jeff can bring me is that the Dark Forest was named after a guy named Travis Forrest, who was a senator in 1814.
And maybe some wetness updates. Some like moisture-based updates I would trust Jeff with. But that's fucking good enough for the rest of the team. It's handshakes all around. They're like, all right, you got your shot, you son of a... Like he's earned the you son of a bitch moment, but it's done. Nothing has changed. They fucked all of this up so bad, every moment. It's just like they've pulled all of these tropes from all of their favorite shows and then stitched them together, and we're like, we'll figure it out. We'll make it look natural.
We make fun of the show for like its inconsistencies and its stupidity, but it's usually got a lot of momentum and it's always really funny. But then you get to this scene where it's just like, oh shit, this fell apart. Like all the momentum's gone. This is just a bunch of idiots saying wrong things in a barn. And
here's the wrongest thing of all. Trapper ends this scene saying, the only person who can mess this up now is Jeff.
well, yes.
Yeah. That's the worry.
Those are the stakes. Can Jeff fuck this up hard enough to die is the stakes. Will Jeff's new friends kill him for sucking?
Gonna say yeah, based on everything we know, absolutely. They head back to base camp, home of the two-holer, if you'll remember. And Mountain Monsters is doing something new. They cut in on a black card, and a production voice says, we need cameras up now. And then it's just like running and chaotic yelling. Like they're doing the thing where they just jump you into the middle of a scene, which is a found footage horror movie trope. But they never tried it really before. Like this is like breaking that fourth wall moment. So it's good that they acknowledge that they can use these tropes to set things up. And so the setup that they have is Buck, Huckleberry, and Willie are all sitting peacefully by the fire listening to a radio. That's the emergency that we need to cut in, screaming and yelling like it's a fucking Godzilla attack.
Those men are all fully dressed.
And sitting very peacefully.
It's weird you mentioned that. Why did you mention that they're fully dressed?
Into the scene comes Wild Bill wearing a hat, his lace-up sex boots, which are fully laced up, and tiny camouflage briefs. So had plenty of time to pull on his pants. Instead, decided to take the 20 minutes it takes to lace up those knee-high boots. It's like, no, we know the priority here. So he runs out, and basically a nude man wearing leather knee boots. And here's where you realize Wild Bill knows that this scene needs something, because what they're about to stage here is nothing. So he's like, okay, I'm gonna do some genitals goofing. I'm gonna get my genitals visible for this.
Got to combine it with that chainsaw goofing, real high stakes.
Wild Bill has the only like TV instincts I think of anyone. Like he always makes good choices. He's like, this scene needs someone falling down. This scene needs a tree climbing. This needs some sideball. Like he's got instincts.
He falls down hard in the woods wearing just his panties, and it looks like it hurt a lot. And he's going to do it again later. He's doing it for comedy. I don't believe
the second time is an intentional comedy take, because that's barely on film. Like they almost missed that, and he just we'll get to it. So the emergency is that they have Jeff on the radio giving them an update, which is, God, you botched this scene so hard with this high stress, high tension, like cut in the middle of an emergency. Everybody's sitting around a fire to get a radio update. Fucked that all up. The update is that something tripped a trail cam, and they have to go look at the pictures.
Because that crew is coming to check the trail camera, so you guys have to go steal the pictures before they come to look at the pictures. Now, I know what you're saying, listeners. Couldn't Jeff let those guys come and look at the pictures, and then he could report to the Ames team what was in the pictures, because that's why he's there, is to get that information. I can see why you would ask that.
But that's not what happens. It's a ticking clock, Mission Impossible style. We've got to get there. We've got 15 minutes to get into the woods, download blurry photos onto a laptop, and then go somewhere else in the woods. Because Jeff is going to be there with his rogue team boys who are named Harry and Stinky. Those are obviously undercover Big Feet, right? Like
Jeff on the radio has to improvise the name of the two evil Bigfoot henchmen he's with, and he improvises the names. Yeah, I'll be coming up with Harry and Stinky. So you guys need to, I'll stall them as much as you can, but you've got to get that file off the. So what, from here on out, Buck and the rest of the team are going to be acting like, if they are caught getting this photos off this trail cam, that Harry and Stinky will murder them on the spot.
Yeah,
like they act like it is absolutely like they are stealing $1 million from the cartel. Like they are acting like this is death rather than the reality. If these guys showed up and they were messing with the trail camera, it'd just be like, hey, and we saw this. Is this yours? You saw this when and I was doing it. It's kind of, we thought we'd look at it.
Yep. Looks like a deer came by.
Yeah.
How's your night going?
Give them this, though. They do pretty effectively scramble. Like, it has been a long time since you've seen certain members of the Ames team pretend to run for even a little bit under any circumstance. Like, fleeing for their lives, and you'll still see a little speed mosey over there, just like a little power walk. People jog. So, like, I'm all the way in again. That's all I really need. My sense of disbelief is fully suspended. Buck is jogging. That's incredible.
And I'll give them credit. I think this is a competently edited sequence.
Yeah, it looks,
because they have this ticking
tense.
clock where these guys are coming, and they send out Wild Bill and Willie to do a roadblock to create something to stall them for a few minutes while Buck rapidly tries to like download the. He's like, I'm almost in. It's like he's like trying to download the thing, and they're coming. He's like almost done. It's a hacker thing, and the headlights are coming in their golf cart. Now, obviously, if you take a step back and realize that everything about this is ludicrous. Sure, that ruins the effect, but it's done as well as a sequence in Mountain Monsters can be done.
Now, when you say certain things about this ruin the effect, is one of those things when Buck says, oops, I put it in the wrong spot for the flash drive that's downloading the photos? Because I don't think that happens in the Mission Impossible scene. I don't think Tom Cruise is in there plugging a USB drive into the power port and being like, oh, shit, hold on.
Shit. Fuck.
Or
my zipper's stuck. Shit. I lost it. I forgot my shit. Fuck.
Wild Bill also takes time to do some more goofing where they're like, we got to set up a roadblock. He runs off and he grabs like a twig and puts it on the road and it's like, oh. Willie has to be like, no, dude. And not even in like a straight man, what are you thinking kind of way, but in the like, this is not the scene for that kind of way.
I liked how they're talking about it'll save like 3 or 4 minutes is what they said. It was so close to 15 seconds at like tops. Like,
no.
They pull up in the golf cart, get out of the golf cart and just move the dumb little stick. And then they're going again.
They say it takes them about 15 seconds to drag a larger log once they decide the comedy log is not landing. They drag a larger log in there and then they run over there. And it took them about 15 seconds. And then Willie hops on the radio and is like, you've got 3-4 minutes. And then Jeff gets out and drags it out of the way in 15 seconds. You're like, no, why did you think that? Why would you think that?
Why would it take them 4 minutes to move that log that you guys just immediately grabbed and laid down there? It makes
with
sense.
no difficulty. You didn't chop a tree down.
We're skipping over a really funny detail in that when they're doing this Mission Impossible thing, Jeff texts Buck like on his fucking iPhone and says, oh, I'm 5 minutes out. The cell phones work in the dark woods, and it's just like little things like that remind you that, oh, right. Like, what was that radio shit? These guys would just be texting. They would have a group chat.
So Jeff and his boys, Jeff and Harry and Sticky come and go. The team reunites. They get their data, and they see a password lock. and Buck says, whoever it is Jeff's working for, they run a tight ship.
There is also a moment when they reunite when Wild Bill's like, Buck, is that you? And Buck looks at him and goes, You're still in your underwear? Not saying it as the character Buck in the show, like in the universe of the show, but saying it as,
Yes.
this was not a comedy thing we were doing. You're still in your comedy underwear, like you're in your comedy outfit. Did you seriously not put something else on? And Webb was like, oh, no, I didn't have time. And they left that in the show, of course. But he was clearly annoyed on the level of, this was supposed to be our Mission Impossible hacking sequence. We were laying in the brush with the flashlights of Harry and or Stinky sweeping over our heads, knowing that would mean death if Stinky saw us down there. He would just riddle us with bullets if he had caught us.
Those actual word-for-word reaction was, well, yeah. Yeah. I'm my fucking underwear.
I'm doing my
That
goofs.
really cracked
What do
me
you
up.
want? So the next day, they're waiting on Jeff to show up, and Jeff rolls up trying out his new cool guy spy look.
I laughed almost as hard as in the rafters. Because he's got, like, such a self-conscious little strut. Like, oh, this?
This whole thing? I just went to the spa and told him, give me the Lorenzo Lamas. Give me the... He's had his hair straightened and, like, volumized. I don't know the terms. And he's tied up his beard in like a tough guy braid, and he's just like trying to.
So excellent. This no ponytail hair, yes ponytail beard. You know, just.
Wild Bill says,
like, new.
You look like you slept in a cave, and that's clearly not what he's looking for. And Jeff just blows right past him, like, no, I'm not acknowledging that.
I didn't get that either.
But
I knew it was
hours.
mean-spirited. Yeah. He did. He spent 3 hours. He's worked so hard on this look.
He's trying out his new spy look, and it's so funny. There's so many good comedy moments with Jeff here. None of them intentional. It's just, right before the scene, he was off camera going, time to meet the new Jeff.
He's the pee-pee boy who moved to a new school where they don't know he's pee-pee boy. He's like, I'm going to be cool guy boy.
This guy thinks he looks like Lorenzo Lamas. No, I don't. It's just how I always look. So they all get together in the lean-to, which Willie has added some more walls to. So it's still not up to tent standards, but I guess they're not going to get eaten by coyotes. That's the standard we're up to. They act all disappointed in Jeff for fucking all this up again because it's password protected, undefeatable. And Jeff is like, but one thing, I have the password.
Such a bitch.
He starts reading it to him and he goes, 7, and then he has to pause because Buck has to look for the 7 on the keyboard and he finds the 7. 5, pause. 4, pause. 0, pause. So it's a 4-digit pin. And Buck has to like peck around like a grandpa, and then at the end he actually says, "We're in.
We're in.
We're in. We get a we're in." It's got everything. It's got everything. So they hack into the trail cam by knowing the password, and they get a blurry mess of black shapes, exactly as you'd expect from every trail cam photo you've ever seen on this show.
It's kind of a wolf. I don't know. I don't know how you fake something like this. For me, I think this is a holy shit moment. Like, they proved that there's a supernatural Valkyrie wolf living in these dark woods. All is forgiven.
I like that they overlay an image of an actual wolf on the blurry shape, and they're like, look, this is a totally wolf.
It's like when you Google AI is trying to like recreate static, and it's like, find a wolf in this static. It's like, oh, here's 17 wolf heads. And you're like, okay.
And then after Buck sees that, after seeing that photo, there is no doubt the black wolf is in the dark forest. Because as we all know, their only reason for being here was to prove that the black wolf is in the dark forest. That's why they came here.
This farmer must have so much more of this, too. Like, this incontrovertible proof. This evidence, this farmer must have just stacks and stacks of these SD cards filled with wolf proof, right? Is that why Jeff is like got in with this gang? How many nights like this have there been? Is I guess what I'm asking. I don't know.
There can be no other reasonable reaction to like opening up this password protected file that you did a Mission Impossible thing to find and then finding a blurry black shape on a photo. Then Jeff, God damn it, are you fucking kidding me? But that's not what they do. They go, Jeff, great job, high fives all around,
worth all of it.
This is his redemption moment.
Yeah, because again, they said earlier in the meeting that Jeff was literally risking his life to do this. They would kill him if they found out that he was undercover from a rival Bigfoot hunting team.
Jeff waddles off into the sunset, just like tough guy, his hair blowing in the breeze. And the boys start talking traps, and then in the distance, you see him fall over and eat shit. And it's pretty funny. But then you realize, like, oh, okay, they did it on purpose. They're doing another Jeff passed out because of a witch curse moment. And they run up to him, and they're like, Jeff, what happened? And it's not a witch curse. He says, I was just so scared on seeing that picture of the black wolf.
That he passed out in mid-stride. The picture of the black wolf. It's no longer a dream. It's real, okay?
He got so scared by the black shapes that he held it together for like 50 feet and then just collapsed in terror. This is his redemption arc.
It's the blurriest a wolf can look and still be a picture of a wolf. And he almost died from seeing it. Also, here's a note for the show. Maybe we could send this back in time. I knew he was going to fall down because as soon as they started talking about traps, they're like, so what do you think of this trap? This trap is a good trap. I think this trap is fine trap. Yes, traps are traps. And you're like, okay, clearly they're like buying time for something to happen. And so when he fell down, I'm like, well, yeah.
It's like they've been told they're extras. Like they're just doing watermelon.
Rhubarb,
But like, no, you guys are mic'd up. Like when you're in the foreground of the shot. Every time they have to do this where they're just like, and then you'll fill it in. They're like, blah, 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 blah. No, you have to say words for this part.
And Huckleberry reasonably says, well, if just a photo of the black wolf did that to him, what's going to happen when he sees it for real? Like, that's a very reasonable question to ask.
Buck
he's too scared to stand up. Like most of the scene is him sitting on the floor because the ground. He is too scared to stand up.
His legs
and
don't
while
work.
He's sitting on the ground because he saw a picture of a wolf 15 minutes ago, he says, "I'm going to man up. I'm manning up."
This is what it looks like when I man up. When I see those 36 black pixels in a trail cam, and it caused me to collapse on the ground out of terror. I'm going to man up just like Trapper asked me to.
He goes to stand up, and Buck offers him his hand, and Jeff says, no, I'm strong enough to get up on my own. And then he proves it by only needing to grab a tree with both hands to pull himself.
But here's where Buck says the only way to help Jeff is to catch the black wolf. So emphasizing their mission from the start was to catch the black wolf. That's why they're here. The previous, if you go back and watch the previous 4 episodes, that's always what it's been about. Catch the black wolf so that Jeff won't be scared anymore of the black wolf. Then the problem will be over.
That sounds right.
That's where those coordinates are to. They're to the wolf trap. And then they're to the two-holer. They're to the two-holer. So that you can get to the two-holer, get to the wolf trap real easy. It all checks out.
There's a funny moment where Jeff, like helpless to just his own fears, his own pee-pee, he's just wandering into the woods by himself. And everyone agrees, like, he's not all right. Like, we're never going to see him again. And I kind of like that our Ames boys are underdogs, right? But, like, this is the second time this mission where a member of their team came really close to death just from walking through the woods. Like, remember Trapper when he got out of his truck to go to that shed and they found just a trail of blood and had to call the fucking cops? So, there's now 4 Bigfoot teams that are better at them than at everything. I guess except getting trees thrown at them by Bigfoot. But these guys have no chance. Like, they might just die camping.
I realize that this is beating a dead horse, but when coming up with the premise of the show, it would have been very easy to portray themselves as like underdogs, like you said, like being out of their league, where in the opening episode, it's like, hey, we're just a bunch of guys. We saw something real weird and we're going to go look for it. We don't know what we're doing because this is a known genre. Two of the people on this podcast have written entire books in that genre of the regular person who is forced to investigate something supernatural because it's like, this has touched our lives. It came after one of our guys. Like, and then make that a running bit where it's like, hey, we're just making this up as we go along. We're doing our best, but we're just regular down home West Virginia dudes. And so then it makes sense. Like, hey guys, we're in over our heads. You know, this isn't, I'm a farmer. I don't know anything about Sasquatches and black wolves, but they don't do that. They keep referencing themselves as the best of the best. We have been doing this for a decade. We are world famous. Other Bigfoot hunting teams are just envious of us and constantly watching what we do because they're amazed by it, and just keep talking about themselves as they are just the elite. We are the SEAL Team 6 of Bigfoot hunters. And it just makes the show so much funnier.
I stand by my theory that they do have one super ability, and that's that they just can't help it. They find Bigfoot fucking everywhere. It's not intentional. Like, they just have a musk. They leave their truck, and Bigfoot's like, we've seen it again and again. They've been walking down a path and been like, is this fucking Bigfoot sign? Are you kidding me? I don't want to deal with a Bigfoot right now. Like, they just can't help it. They can't close the deal, though. So all the other Bigfoot teams, they're like master hunters. They're fucking Craven the Hunter out there. They can track anything, kill anything, trap anything. They've never seen a Bigfoot. And they're just like, God damn it. God damn these guys. If I had a tenth of their luck, I would be world famous.
Their biggest struggle is that they keep losing track of which monster is next to them at any given moment. They have totally forgotten that the Ravenmocker exists, which was the original monster that brought them here in the last episode, the 2-part episode. It was a whole thing. They've totally forgotten about it because there are so many monsters at play that they lose track, because everywhere they go, they just get dogpiled by creatures of all sort. There's within 100 feet of them right now, there is an immortal witch, a giant wolf of some kind, maybe the Ravenmocker, a little girl, a woman of the woods. Unless the little girl is the woman of the woods, it's not clear. And very soon, they're about to introduce, spoiler, the Predator from the movie Predator.
The Predator monster.
As a fifth creature. No wonder they can't keep...
Those
they're
hunters
so
are gonna
good
be
at
so
hunting.
mad.
It would be like if there was a hunter where deer just crowded into his yard and he could not get to his car to go to his day job because the deer would just kill me.
And the hunter was out there with his gun firing into the air like, I can't fucking hit these things. I can't. And all the other hunters had to watch.
Back.
Had to watch from off of his property going like, just point it down. Just point it down. God damn it. He's never going to get it. They're never going to get it. It must be so frustrating. It would drive them insane. No wonder they're putting on skeleton masks and making jigsaw puzzles. Like, I don't blame them at all. That's a natural reaction to what's happening here. So, all right, back in the show, we revisit Willie's trap, which, remember, he built a maze trap where the black wolf must pass through 3 snares in the maze. Only he built the maze out of canvas.
I did not remember this. I was shocked that they had built a trap for the black wolf. I was like, they did?
I remember this.
He built the
I like
whole
how
thing
Willie says,
out of like
3 chances to catch the black
canvas.
wolf. Because this is, remember, a legendary shape-shifting demon that carries Indian souls to the afterlife. And they're going to snag it with a tow cable. But there's only like... He might get out, so they have a second and a third tow cable. That should do it, right?
See, I've forgotten that it's the Grim Reaper. Jason forgot there was a trap. I forgot that it's actually the Grim Reaper, and that if they do catch the Black Wolf, all Indians, all American Indians, will be doomed to eternal purgatory. So, like,
yeah, and again, the snare. They specify that the snare is to catch it around its neck. They're going to hang the immortal being that escorts Native American souls to the afterlife. They're going to lynch it In their own fiction, they say this. They're going to strangle it with a cable.
Buck
Three times.
next Buck says they have to investigate what the Black Wolf's main food source is so they can bait the trap. And I just realized you already know it's American Indian souls.
It's souls. It eats the fucking spirits of the native people who died well.
Buck is now talking about it like it's just a dog, because he also, remember, I assume that the way this show has always been filmed is they're going on the weekend. Like, we've always speculated that that's why they've always got 2 days. They're shooting us on the weekend. They've all got day jobs, right? And then sometimes Buck has to work a Saturday, and that's why he's not there. Well, on this continuity thing, in between those weekend shoots, I think they're totally forgetting everything they did, because, again, in the fiction of the show, this is all happening in consecutive days. They're all out there, like, camping at that log cabin, when in reality they're not. They're leaving and they're coming back. They didn't go out and shoot this for a month straight. They can't. So yeah, all of that stuff about how Buck just thinks this is a wolf, because it was months ago that they shot that thing where they found that guy who told them all of the lore that they had him say.
Well, hold on. We might be being unfair. Like, we don't actually get to see what they do bait the trap with. So it could be like 2 real sick Indian boys.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, all right. So it's time to go on the night hunt portion. Buck has to secretly meet with Jeff while Harry and Stinky, the goon boys, the goon Bigfoots, are right there. So Buck sneaks up behind him and they do the classic "don't turn around" spy scene. It looks like they're having so much fun doing that. Like,
yeah.
That's
and
fun.
remember,
That's fun.
Jeff is supposed to be gathering intel on what he eats, and I really liked the idea of Jeff, like, palling around with this new rogue team, being like, so, like, guys, that black wolf that you've been taking pictures of? No, don't show me one. I will pee and faint and pee. But, like, what do you think he eats? Like, what is his, like, main food source, do you think? Like,
Nope, too scary. Pee.
Thanks for letting me in your cool gang, by the way. My last gang was pussies. Not like us, tough fellas.
Do you like my hair? Do you like my hair, by the way?
It's pretty sweet. I've had it like this for a while. This beard ponytail.
I'm pretty much the coolest guy in my other gang.
I started doing the braid in my beard. They all started doing it too. Bunch of posers, but not me.
You guys ever go on Wikipedia? A lot of fun facts on Wikipedia. You know, this county we're in was founded in 1784.
So Jeff tells him there's something big going down at the base of a cliff nearby, and Willie and Wild Bill will have to rappel down it. Just like we're doing all the Mission Impossible stuff. Like, somebody's got to get a motorcycle chase here.
This is so
Buck,
fucking
maybe?
stupid. Because they're like, quick, get down to this thing. And they're like, okay, you know what we ought to do is go back to our base camp, get our climbing gear, go back to where they said, like, whatever happened there is going to be happening 2 hours from now, I guess is what their plan
Also,
requires.
The idea is that this meeting is happening at the base of this cliff, and they want them to eavesdrop on the meeting. So they want them to drop down. They want them to rappel down. So imagine these guys like talking. They're like, yeah, you know, this black wolf, we've got to. And then just in the background, these 2 guys like,
Like, just knowing their history, one of them just falls halfway.
Yeah. Because these guys they don't move silently like the night there. So anyway.
Well, we'll see.
It is
amazing.
also
See.
worth mentioning that the directions are that rock wall in the woods.
And Buck is running, well, doing his best to run to relay this message to them. And there's one problem. He gets immediately lost in the woods. It's very funny. But then there's an immediate solution. He just calls them on his phone and tells them. Why was the first idea you have to run to them like a marathon? Like, you would die at the end of that marathon.
I got to get this urgent message to them. I'm going to move at buck speed back to the base camp. Oh, my phone.
It's funny because they do, like, half the time when they talk about the Dark Forest, they are referencing it as, I mentioned before, like a video game level where you've gone through a portal and you can't leave and go back to the rest of the game until you defeat the witch or whatever. They talk about it like it's this alternate dimension where magic reigns and weird stuff happens, and we're all out here and we can't, because they're about to do that thing with Buck where he, like, can't find his way back. I know it was distraction. Suddenly I'm here, because like reality has been mixed around. But then also they have 5G coverage out there, and also the highway is right there, and occasionally somebody will just pull up in a truck like right there. It's like there's a road, and just there's electricity to the buildings. It's just this guy's farm, but also it's the Dark Forest, and then also they make it sound vast at times, but when they give directions, it's just like, well, the wall up north.
Yeah, go to the wall. Yeah.
Which would not help you unless it was, again, somebody's yard. Like,
You're forgetting. They found out exactly how big it was. They have the map now. They unlocked the map. That was Jeff's intel. So Willie and Wild Bill run off toward the cliff with their climbing gear, and this is where Wild Bill eats shit in like what I think is an unscripted way, because it's not like he's not center frame or anything. He just trips on his fancy stripper boots and he lands on his neck. And you're just like,
looks real bad.
That looks real bad. And remember, he's on his way to rappel down a cliff on a stealth mission. The man who
hours
just
after
tripped on his
anything
boots.
relevant happened. Because remember, Jeff told Buck that he needs to get out to the thing, and then Buck went for a long walk and then called them. I'm just saying, whatever happened, it's already happened. I just realized how funny it would be if Buck came up behind Jeff and he's like, "Don't turn around," and Jeff went, "Golden delicious apples," and then Buck left, like, because that's what the intel was supposed to be. Like, he was there to find out his favorite snack.
Yeah, the fact that they're out to find out what to bait the trap with, they have forgotten that now. Everyone on this crew has totally forgotten that.
Right. But presumably that's what this meeting will be about. If they can rappel down, they'll catch the guys talking about the Black Wolf's favorite foods.
He likes pecans. I don't know. That's fun. I toss them to him. If you toss him up high, he'll go up on his back legs. He'll put his front paws up, and it's real cute. Pecans. So they creep up on this meeting, which they say is 10 or 12 vehicles. So like 50 dudes. Like this is going to be the end of a John Wick movie. Just Buck and Huckleberry back to back mowing down waves of dudes.
Also, I want you to imagine you're out in the woods doing anything and you see 12 golf carts come your way. What would you assume is happening? It'd be some sort of like a parade, right? Like it'd be some sort of a silly... It'd be like a holiday thing of some kind.
Yeah, I wouldn't be intimidated. My first instinct would be to like just hop on one as they pass. Like, right? I mean,
yeah. You guys doing a kegger?
Let's see what the yeah. So Willie sneaks up to one of the forest golf carts to steal the radio while Wild Bill covers him. And by covers him, I mean, of course, he points his shotgun directly at him the whole time. It's the old hillbilly cyanide capsule. If you get caught, he's going to blow your fucking head off. Or maybe just not, because when Willie starts crawling back, he's still covering him with the shotgun, even though he's no longer near the enemies. It's just like, Willie, if you try something, I'm ready to blow your fucking head off. And that's when, out in the woods, Buck hears something terrifying. And he says, "Daggone, what was that? Sounded like a frickin' sneeze."
Is paralyzed with fear. He's holding a gun too, and he's not like aiming the gun at the sneeze. He's just holding it vertically while he's like seizing in fear.
I mean, remember he's doing the Lost Woods thing. He's trapped in a Zelda level right now, and he's like, "Did I hear something sneeze? Like that's not the vibe you're supposed to be doing."
So funny. It's the funniest choice of noise, and I feel like what Wild Bill and Willie did is just a robbery. Like they just snuck up on a guy and stole his walkie-talkie. And again, they haven't done anything to them. In fact, this is like their buddy's new friend group. The only thing they've done is set up a trail cam that takes pictures of the supernatural black wolf monster, which is like their hobby. That's their thing. I don't know. I think they just robbed a guy and filmed it, is my point.
I don't think they remember to ever establish this group as being violent. Because they're going to do a thing in a moment where they're going to hear a gunshot and act like they've shot Jeff, and it's going to turn out to not be true. But prior to that, have they even gotten like a secondhand report of somebody saying, "Hey, those guys out there in the woods, you don't cross them. I had a brother. He disappeared out here, and they say these guys they killed him and they got rid of his body. They fed him to the black wolf. They served. There's no lore." They serve this black wolf. They do whatever it says. We don't have anything like that, do we?
These are just farmhands they're robbing while they're trespassing.
They work for a farmer. That's proof of
That's all we've
wrongdoing
heard.
enough for me. I think maybe they're just stealing the radio so that they can relay Jeff's secrets to his new group of friends. Like, show him a picture of the black wolf. It's gonna be really funny.
Hey, this is Jeff. I'm pee-peeing in my pants. Bye. That'll get him.
You're ruining it. I had a chance to
They
start
didn't know
over.
about the pee-pee.
Yes, they did.
They would know. They would know sooner than later. So they hear two gunshots. Willie and Wild Bill hear two gunshots, and over the radio, they hear somebody say, "Jeff has been shot." And Wild Bill goes, "They shot Jeff Rowe," and then they hustle over there, screaming Jeff's name, and just get mercilessly gunned down, just blown to pieces. I mean, they just established there are 30 guys right here in these woods that just shot their friend, and they're running out there screaming. And remember, this was like a stealth mission. Just poor tactics.
This is so
But they
fucking
find
stupid
Jeff.
because they're like 10 feet from Jeff. And nobody's there with him. They're like, oh, they shot Jeff. And then I guess they just left him to bleed out because there's no one like dragging him to safety or giving him medical attention.
They just they left him there. I mean, to be fair, if I punched Jeff in the woods, I would expect him to die out there. I would just leave, knowing full well like that's it. It's like pushing a turtle on his back. Like, he's done. So they're like, Jeff, he's been shot in the face. And Jeff says, "No, it's another nosebleed. You goddamn nerd. You goddamn nerd.
Fucking nerd.
You sucked everything out of that moment." And he says, "They didn't shoot me. They shot him." What a mystery. What a
mystery.
Who's him, they ask. And they're going to ask him that 5 more times before the end of the episode. And Jeff is never going to say.
But Buck has found the spot where the little girl pointed at Jeff. And she apparently, I guess, has a cold. I don't know. He hears laughter in the woods. He instantly knows that's the woman of the woods. And he starts talking like, "I'm so confused. I'm all turned around. I don't know which way is the right way to go." And the cameraman makes like a full slow circle and finds Buck has disappeared. Extremely funny every time they do it. They did it with Jeff. It's really funny to act like these guys can just vanish into the night. A very funny visual gag. Back at camp, Huckleberry is apparently just hanging out alone. Like, I was wondering, which one did Huckleberry go with? And he's just like, "Nah, I'm sitting this one out. I'm just going to hang out at camp."
They left him alone too
and
long, though, because he is riffing.
He is delivering the monologue from Predator. He says, I've seen the thing that's watching us. And it's like looking across the parking lot on a hot day, and you have them heat waves where you can see a little bit behind it. Predator. It's Predator.
It's Predator. I'm so frustrated by this because the person who titled the episode knows what Predator is. I would argue most people know what Predator is. There have been 7 Predator movies. I looked it up. There's 6 novels and 56 comic book series about Predator.
Also,
it's like saying it was December 25th. I saw a man. He had a red suit. It's a white shape on his face. Could have been hair. I don't know how to describe it. It's fucking Predator.
Sean, these guys are monster experts. Even if they're not just average people, their whole thing is like monsters and monster lore. And like every Hollywood movie monster, they would know, well, what it was based on. Where, is there some myth of a creature that can... So, yeah, the person who titled the episode presumably sarcastically called the episode Huckleberry's Predator because in this riff, Huckleberry's like, you know, you could see where it was standing, but you could see through it.
Like the Predator?
And there's like a shimmer, but you could see the shape of the bead. So yeah, it's
Like
like the
the
Predator
Predators.
and its cloaking thing.
No.
It's
It
like
bleeds
someone-
green like the Predator. It's the Predator. Can you imagine?
Jesse Ventura was in it, like the Predator.
Can you imagine how disappointed this Predator is going to be? Like their whole deal is they come to Earth once every, I don't know, decade or something, looking for a champion worthy of a fight. And this guy has to watch in his heat vision as Wild Bill like trips over his stripper boots and breaks his neck, and Buck is just wandering around lost in the woods, like hello, just doing the quick cut like zooms from the Predator and just watching somebody get downed by a nosebleed, and you're like, God damn it! If I take one of these guys' skulls back, they're just gonna laugh at me. They're gonna laugh at me right out of the planet.
Yeah, that skeleton smells like pee, dude. So Huckleberry explains the Predator for like a full 2 minutes, like without saying the word Predator. He's like its shape, and the shimmer's like when it's a hot parking lot, and I can see through it. The first time I seen it, it left. The second time I seen it, it walked away. The third time I seen it, and the reason I bring this up is it's right over your shoulder.
Chill.
And it's just like, it's so fucking stupid. And then he says, let it make the first move. I've got it. He's going to quick draw an invisible space hunter behind his sound guy. He's just going to like...
That's right. Because this is kind of an effective horror moment, because you imagine yourself as that cameraman, and it's pouring rain at this point, and Huckleberry's sitting there, he's got that M4 on his lap, and he like sneaks his finger into the trigger. He's like, don't move. If it let it make the first move, and if it does, I've got it. It's like, no, you're going to shoot me 13 times.
Yeah.
Like, no. I will shoot past your head. It's over your shoulder. I'm going to shoot past your head, and I will shoot it on a quick draw in the night, in the rain.
With all of my muscle memory being to point my gun at my friends' heads at all times. Just... That cameraman should have just run. Just got up and run right away. Like, nope, taking my chances with the Predator.
But then the plan changes. He gets up and he starts walking towards the Predator, the invisible Predator from the movie Predator, while it's like watching Huckleberry. And then he realizes the door in the cabin is open. And he goes in and he sees these footprints. And they're like, I guess, Predator footprints.
They're Predator
footprints. You can see the
footprints.
toes because like, Predator doesn't wear shoes. And he says, the tracks come in, but they don't go out. And then he gets invisible tackled. And there's no shimmer. There's no Predator. Something in this little cabin upgraded his camouflage to full invisibility. And that's fucking crazy.
Also, once again, Sean, you have failed to convey how stupid that scene was, because Huckleberry sees... Huckleberry sees that the door of the cabin is open. So it's like, it's in the cabin. Mm-hmm. We saw it. It was here. It has now, the door was closed. It's now open. It's in the cabin. So he sneaks over there with his gun. 1 foot outside of the open door of the cabin. Like, he's standing here. Here's the cabin door. The Predator is 18 inches away from him, presumably. He stops and looks down. He's like, footprints. Look, get the camera down here. Look, oh, there's a second one. These are bare feet. See, you can see the balls of the... He is examining footprints. This is the all-time apex of the drinking game, where the creature is the creature is breathing on them, and they stop to examine its footprints as if it's the most amazing find in the history of cryptids. It's like, no. He turns his back to the open door where the Predator is patiently waiting to look down and be amazed at its footprints.
We don't know that the Predator tackled him. I like to think that whole, like, because it just goes shaky cam. I like to think the Predator just smacked him in the back of the head. Just like, fucking come on, man. What are you... I gotta hunt one of you. One of you, like, there's nobody else here. I thought it was going to be you.
It's so fucking funny that he added a fifth monster to this adventure, and it's Just
That
the
predator's going to have to
predator.
hunt somebody on the production crew. He's going to have to hunt a cameraman or something.
For people who have not been following these episodes, or maybe you forget in between episodes of Big Feats what's been going on, there's been no mention of this at all at any point. Not in the lore, not in the truck briefing. He
On
claims this is the
accident.
third time he's seen this thing.
When they fought the alien from Aliens, somebody I think it was Jeff fucked it up and added predator camouflage to him. But that was it. That's the closest they ever came to mentioning this.
Like there's no way everybody that's not in this scene knows what Huckleberry just did.
No,
Like,
this
They were
was
probably
him
pissed when they saw this
improvising.
footage.
Because everybody else went off. They accidentally wrote a scene that he wasn't involved in. Because the two trap guys went off to go rappel down and steal a radio. Jeff is undercover doing the plot of The Departed with the Bigfoot Rival Squad 4. And then Buck got lost in the alternate dimension and he's going to be gone for hours. They forgot to give Huckleberry anything to do, so he just improvises. You know what? I got attacked by the freaking predator.
They got to come back from all that and be like, you what? We have to work a predator into this? There's already like 5 more things than we can handle.
It's got the active
Best.
camo and everything. It's all in camera. It's all canon. I set it
All right,
into
does
a
he-
camera. It can't be cut.
Does he have heat vision? Like, all right, what are we doing? What are we? All right, I'll coat myself in mud. Jeff, you start peeing.
That'll be the bait. The heat bait.
So we're back. We go back to check in on Buck in his Lost Woods scenario, and they cut in on a black card with text that reads, "Buck has been missing for 90 minutes." Like, just imagine how many times they could have shown this card across the show.
It must happen so many times.
It must have happened. Like, don't tell us this. I assume whenever they're not on camera, he's lost for several hours in those woods. The cameraman is still just standing in the same spot, shouting for Buck. An hour and a half, he's just been going, Buck, 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 like without moving, without like going back to deploy the forces. He has cell phones work. Remember, we've established that you could call somebody. But Buck just shows up super casual, like, "Oh, hey, what's up? Just lost in the Lost Woods. What you doing?"
Right.
You wanna
So
come
he's
with me?
super
You wanna come with me a
casual,
little bit?
but he's also acting super weird. He's still mind controlled by one of the creatures they're dealing with, or a new one. We don't know. There was a thing he does here where he says, where he starts whistling. And earlier in the episode, there was whistling when they were like, "Oh, what's that sound?" They heard some whistling and some giggling. So I thought, okay, he's the Ravenmocker. This is the Ravenmocker in a buck shape. And then he turns to the camera and he says, or no, he's hearing a voice. He's like, "Say that one more time." Okay. And then he turns to the camera and he goes, "I've got a secret. Now I know why Jeff's nose bleeds."
It's so naughty about it.
The fuck does that mean? And then he waddles off to a phone ringing. He's like, "Is that a phone? I don't have my phone." And he like breaks the curse by picking up the phone. There's no one on the line. He's like, "Hello? Oh, I guess I'm not like in a trance anymore." It's like, yeah, dickhead, you already made that acting choice. You were not in a curse. You came out of the curse to talk to your camera guy, slipped back into the curse to tell us why Jeff's nose bleeds. Never told us why. Because he's a fucking nerd. Fucking,
So
we
let's
knew that.
review what all breaks the witch's spell. It's water to the face.
Sure.
It's any quick bop to any part
Yeah,
of the
any little
body.
slap.
A phone ringing. Like,
Yeah, that'll do
This
it.
is some weak sauce magic. I mean, I know. Like, it's probably like video game scaling, right? Like, these guys are all level 0, so the witch has to be level 0 as well. But like, just literally anything that happens to them will break the spell. There's no threat to this. So Buck eventually meets up with Wild Bill, Willie, and
Eventually. They all just walk into each other.
and just walk in like they walk into each other at camp. And Jeff is still repeating they shot him and won't elaborate.
The Buck says, "Him who?" And Jeff does this thing. He's like,
No.
It shakes. It's like a toddler you're trying to give medicine
Yeah.
to.
Not gonna take
This
your
will
medicine.
happen over and over again for the rest of the last few minutes of the episode. It's like, Jeff, you got to tell us who got shot. You got to talk to us, buddy.
No. Yes, you said it.
Right, like that's not the
Fucking
move. The
hand
move
pocket.
in this scene is like either like I'm trying to say and I can't because like it's been forbidden to me, or like I'm so stunned that like I'm not really registering your questions. But
He's grouchy pee-pee boy toddler.
Once
bitch.
again-
that's the acting choice he's made.
every time you give him cursed, he gives you back cranky toddler. It's incredible. At least he's consistent. So they return and they go back and they find the fire's out. Huckleberry's missing. They go check the cabin and they find Huckleberry sitting in the cabin covered in blood. And he looks up dramatically and says, "It knows we're here." Hard cut out. Oh my God, what a time to end. No, you did that last episode. It was
Yeah.
maybe the only thing you did. You established you were in the dark forest and something knew you were here.
Yeah. Also,
It's-
no shit, you're making a TV show about it. It is the central character of a television show.
It's way, way beyond the point where you would be doing this trope. This is where you find Huckleberry's nude, skinless body hanging from a tree in the series. Like this is the end of the 5th episode of an 8-episode season, and they just know you're here now.
I love that the mysterious phrasing with just the pronouns, like they shot him, it knows we're here. The entire confusion of it is like, which of the 5 creatures
Right.
are you talking about? Because it's not mysterious, it's just vague. Because we have evidence of each of these things. Again, the last time we were here, we saw the Ravenmocker. We touched the Woman of the Woods. We have tons of video of the Woman of the Woods at this point. She's well documented. Basically, is a character in the show now. The Black Wolf got a photograph of. We already got a trap waiting for it. Predators, the Predator is here from the movie Predator.
It's so well described, it's like we've seen it. Yeah.
So it's like with that phrasing of "it knows we're here," you mean they know you're here?
Right? The whole squad of monsters?
All 4 of the rogue teams, they all know we're here. Some of them sent us.
The monster casting agency knows they're there.
You built a cabin out here. You built a labyrinth out here. You built 2 shitholes out here. You've all been wandering the woods screaming each other's names for 3 days out here. If this thing just realized you're here, you're not allowed to hunt it. It needs special protections. It's like a fucking manatee or something. Like you can't. It means you no harm. It's
quokka.
incapable of harm.
The West Virginia quokka.
It's one of those stupid birds that goes extinct by running in front of cars or something. Like you just. It finally realized we're here. Like, fuck, dude, that is not a hard cutout. That is one of the dumbest things you've said.
And he's like completely covered in stage blood, like a baby's making a zombie movie. It's so fucking
Maybe they
stupid.
hard cut out because the next thing he said was when they went, "Who knows we're here?" and he said, "The Predator from the movie Predator." Like, no,
Okay,
the Gary
we do
Busey
not
one.
have permission. Yes, it's true that in the future, our show will get absorbed by the Discovery Channel, which will get absorbed by Warner Brothers, which we think does probably own 20th Century. Like, we probably actually do have the rights to Predator by that point, but not now in 2017. We don't have that.
call your shot. Call your shot. It's inspirational.
Someday we will be in the same cinematic universe as not only that, but also The Sopranos. All on the same app. Anyway, I'm sorry.
All right there. All equally valuable to the human experience.
Dude, I think Disney owns Predator. I just watched the new Predator movie on Disney Plus, which completely fucking rules. Almost as good as the way Huckleberry describes it.
What a great, terrible episode. I can't believe they're getting worse at this. I can't believe the more practice they have, they're
Okay.
getting worse.
That's not fair.
It's... All right.
They're getting
Seems really
worse
fair.
at it because they're making it harder on themselves.
Okay.
They are upping the difficulty of what they're trying to do 100-fold Because they want
yes.
twists. They want mystery box. They want clues and puzzles. They want 6 different creatures at the same time. They want 4 different factions of Bigfoot hunting teams. Yes, all of that complexity is due to the fact that they don't remember what they filmed last week, and so they have to just keep inventing new stuff. But still, it's not that they're getting worse. It's that they immediately just have progressed to a level of the game that they're not leveled up for.
Right, but I'm saying that after 5 years, the person who should know that is you. You've been doing this for the last 5 years. You should know, like, maybe this is beyond my skill level. Maybe I should just go back and pretend there's one Bigfoot and not introduce the Predator from the movie Predator.
And also, hey, we're going to improvise the Martin Scorsese movie, The Departed.
Right.
We're going to improv that.
Okay, well, you're doing that. I'm gonna do Zelda. No, you're not. You can't do Zelda. Fucking.
This is
Jesus Christ.
There's this new game called Night Rain, and this is how I play Night Rain. I go out in the middle of a field. I get very, very lost. I fight 11 monsters. They know I'm there. I am way too low a level, and then I die.
That's how this is all gonna end. For the meantime, let's pick our favorite quotes. You know what? I'm gonna go first this time. It's already been covered, but my favorite quote was when Buck is alone, like lost in the lost woods, and he hears a noise and he goes, "Daggone, what was that? Sounded like a freaking sneeze." And I'll tell you why that's my favorite. Because that never pays off. They don't be like, I thought it was a sneeze, but it was really the huff of a wolf or something. They never mention it again. So it's implied that the ancient ghost woman who curses you by knowing the time of your death was stalking him and just completely blew her cover by sneezing. just
Allergic to his cologne.
just sneeze out there. It was like, God damn it. I've been stalking that guy all night. Oh man. All right, how about Sean? What's yours?
Yeah, I have 2. There's one where Buck was lost in the woods, and he turns to the cameraman and he says, "You probably should have hung out with the rest of the guys. Now me and you is lost." He's like, "You fucked up, my fault. You got the shit end of the deal."
Just like that title card where they're like, 90 minutes later, Buck is still lost. Like, how many times must that scene have happened that they've cut?
Okay, that one was just for fun. This is my real favorite quote. It was when they're in the barn, and Buck is sad because he got betrayed. And he says to Jeff, he says, "We are being treated like we don't know a thing." And Jeff's response is, "You don't know shit." Loved it.
So when they get they do their Mission Impossible mission, and they get that card off the trail camera, and they find out that it's password protected, then the next morning, Jeff shows up. I love when the show has to stage a scene that obviously they don't script in advance. They don't have lines to read, but they just know they have to improvise to get from point A to point B. And so I have transcribed the exchange that takes place. Buck, "You want to see the problem we ran into?" Jeff, "You best show it to me." Buck, "Password protected SD card. How are we supposed to look at it?" Jeff, "With the password." Buck, "Are you telling me you got the password?" Jeff, "I'm telling you I got the password." Buck, "What do you got?" Jeff, 7450. Buck, "We're in."
Because you have to be a Bigfoot feature. You have to open up your mouth. You have to be a Bigfoot feature. All your friends are so knocked out.